Okay, so right now we are going to look at the different parts of the circle. So here we have the center of the circle. We have the center of our circle. From the center to any edge of the circle is our radius. If I go from the center to any edge of the circle, it's going to be the exact same distance. Our widest dimension of the circle is our diameter. That goes from one side of the circle to the other. That is twice the radius. So from here to the edge is the radius. Here to the edge is the radius. Together it is the diameter. And then we have our circumference. Our circumference is the distance around the circle. Our circumference is the distance around the circle. So as I said, we have our diameter that goes from one edge of the circle to the opposite edge. We have our radius, which goes from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle. And we have our circumference, which is the distance around the entire circle. Okay, so as we said, our diameter is equal to 2 times our radius. A very important fact when dealing with circles is that the ratio of the circumference to diameter is pi. What that means is circumference, the circumference of a circle, divided by the diameter of a circle is equal to pi, which is approximately 3.14159, and it continues. So we know that with every single circle, the circumference of that circle divided by the diameter of that circle is equal to pi. So if I want to find the circumference of a circle, when you see, I know that I can multiply the diameter by both sides, which means the circumference will be equal to the diameter d times pi, or pi times the diameter. That also can be rewritten. If I know that 2 times the radius is the diameter, instead of using diameter, I can use 2 times the radius, which means that the circumference is also 2 times the radius times pi, which is rewritten as 2 pi r. So this is 2 formulas that's derived that can be used to find the circumference of a circle. So let's look at some examples. Let's say I have a circle with a radius of 3 inches. I have a circle with a radius of 3 inches. I want to find the circumference. So we are looking for the circumference. If I am given the radius, am I going to use formula 1 for circumference or formula 2? I am going to use formula 2 for circumference because it is in reference of the radius. So I'm going to use circumference is equal to 2 pi r. And I know that my radius is 3 inches. So I'm going to plug that in. The circumference is equal to 2 times 3 pi, which means the circumference is 6 pi. Very easy to find the circumference as long as you're given the diameter or the radius. So let me make sure I add my inches. Right? I could approximate that. Usually, you could use the pi button, or you could use 3.14 depending on how it is taught. Most times in my experience, I have used the pi button, or I have taught my scholars to use the pi button and then approximate it to the 100th place. But here we're just going to leave it in terms of pi so that we have the most accurate answer. When the answer is in terms of pi, it is the most accurate answer because anything else is an approximation. Let's take another example. Let's say I have a circle, please excuse my circle, with a diameter of 8 inches. Circle with a diameter of 8 inches. And I want you to find the radius. Find the radius. Well, we know that the diameter is 2 times the radius, right? We know that the diameter is 2 times the radius. But right now I'm looking for radius. So I'm going to isolate this r, which means I'm going to divide 2 by each side, which means that the radius is diameter divided by 2. So let's plug it in. Our radius is 8 divided by 2, which is 4 inches, which means that if our diameter is 8, we know that our radius is 4 inches.